Do you get that feeling you should probably be prepared for something, but every time you look online, you just get buried under a mountain of information? Zombie apocalypses, billion-dollar bunkers, tactical gear that costs more than your car? It's enough to make anyone's head spin. Trust me, I get it. I've been there. That's why I'm making this video. We're going to cut through all that noise and focus on a simple, doable list of the first 10 items you actually need to be ready for the unexpected. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan you can start on today. This is the simple, no-nonsense guide I wish I had when I started. Look, when I first started prepping, I made a ton of mistakes. I wasted a lot of money on stuff I didn't need. I bought the tactical gear that looked cool, the fancy gadgets, all the things that scream Hollywood blockbuster instead of real life. I was so focused on prepping for a zombie apocalypse that I wasn't ready for something way more likely, like a week-long power outage. This list is the result of years of learning, refining, and messing up. It's built to help you skip all that and build a rock-solid practical foundation. This isn't about being scared, it's about being in control, whether you live in a high-rise apartment or out on a few acres. Coming in at number 1, and for a very good reason, is water. This is the absolute cornerstone of all preparedness. You've probably heard the rule of threes. You can survive about 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in harsh weather, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Notice how high water is on that list? It is, without a doubt, your most critical priority. When a crisis hits, a hurricane, a water main break, you name it, your tap can stop working or become unsafe in an instant. The problem is, most of us drastically underestimate how much water we actually need. The solution is simple. Store 1 gallon of water per person per day. So for a family of 4, that's 4 gallons a day. FEMA suggests a minimum 3-day supply, but we're going to aim for a more robust 2-week supply. That's 56 gallons for that same family of 4. I can hear you now. Where am I supposed to put 56 gallons of water? This is where we get smart and tailor it to your space. If you're in an urban setting like an apartment, your biggest enemy is space. So start small and get clever. Next time you're at the grocery store, just grab an extra 1-gallon jug or 2 of water. They're cheap, sealed, and ready to go. You can slide them in the back of closets, under your bed, wherever you've got a spare nook. Another fantastic option for city life is stackable water bricks. Brands like Aquitainer make 7-gallon rigid containers that are easy to stack and store in tight spaces. If you're in a suburban or rural spot with more room, you can think bigger. You can still start with store-bought jugs, but maybe look into larger 55-gallon food-grade barrels. They're a cost-effective way to store a ton of water for the long term in a garage or a basement. Just be sure to keep them in a cool, dark place to stop algae from growing. But stored water eventually runs out. What then? You need a way to make questionable water safe to drink. This is where a reliable water filter is non-negotiable. For a budget-friendly and super effective start, something like a Sawyer Mini or a Life Straw is a great choice. These little guys are portable and can filter thousands of gallons, removing nasty bacteria and protozoa. For a more serious home system, especially if you're near a natural water source, a gravity-fed filter like a Berkey is a popular and powerful option, filtering out not just bacteria but viruses and chemicals too. So here's your homework. On your next grocery run, buy a case of bottled water or a few gallons. It's the single most important and easiest prep you can do. At number 2, we've got food. You can go longer without it than water, but a lack of calories tanks your energy, your mood, and your ability to make good decisions. Food isn't just fuel, it's morale in a can. The beginner mistake is either storing nothing or buying a bunch of expensive survival food that tastes like cardboard. The real solution is build a deep pantry. It's simple. Just buy extra of the non-perishable foods your family already eats. Every grocery trip, grab a few extra cans of soup, chili, or tuna, an extra bag of rice, some pasta, another jar of peanut butter. The goal is the same as water. Start with 3 days, but aim for a 2-week supply of food that doesn't need a fridge and requires little to no cooking. And for the love of all that is holy, buy a manual can opener. Actually, buy 2. Imagine a pantry full of food and no way to open it because the power's out. One for the kitchen drawer, one for the emergency kit. So, how does this look for different environments? For the urban prepper, space is everything. Canned goods are great but heavy. Supplement them with lightweight, calorie-dense foods. Energy bars, dried fruit, nuts, jerky, things that are ready to eat and easy to grab if you need to be mobile. Think about just add boiling water meals like instant noodles or oatmeal. For the rural prepper, space is your friend, so buy in bulk. 20-pound bags of rice and beans are dirt cheap and can last for decades if you store them right. You can also get into long-term preservation like canning produce from your garden. Number 3 is a good first aid kit. When things go wrong, 911 might be busy. A simple cut can turn into a nasty infection. Being able to handle injuries yourself isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity. Here's the deal. Those tiny, pre-made first aid kits from the drugstore are mostly just a handful of cartoon bandages and alcohol wipes. They're not enough. The solution is to buy one of those as a starting point and then build it out yourself. You need to be ready for real trauma, not just paper cuts. Your kit should have the basics: bandages, gauze, antiseptic wipes, medical tape, but then you need to add more. Get pain relievers like ibuprofen, anti-diarrhea medication, and an antihistamine for allergic reactions. I also strongly recommend adding gear for serious injuries: a tourniquet and training on how to use it, chest seals, and a clotting agent like Quick Clot. You can find these in Stop the Bleed kits. And here's the part that's unique to you: personal medications. If you or a family member needs prescription drugs, having at least an extra 2-week supply is critical. Talk to your doctor about it. And don't forget a backup pair of glasses. This is a universal prep. A bad injury is a bad injury, whether you're in a downtown loft or a remote farmhouse. And finally, and this is just as important as the kit itself, get trained. Take a basic first aid and CPR class. Watch reputable videos on how to use everything in your kit. A pile of medical gear you don't know how to use is just expensive deadweight. Number 4 is a 2-for-1: light and communication. When the power dies, 2 things happen instantly. It gets dark and you're cut off from the world. That combo breeds fear and bad decisions. Let's solve both. First, light. We all use our phones as flashlights, but that's a terrible idea in an emergency. You're draining your most important communication device. The solution is dedicated light sources. You need multiple flashlights. Go with LEDs, they're bright and the batteries last forever. I suggest a small one for your pocket, a big one for the house, and a headlamp. A headlamp is priceless because it leaves your hands free to actually fix the problem. And for every light, you need extra batteries. Better yet, invest in some rechargeable batteries and a small solar charger. The best option is also to have a hand crank flashlight or lantern. It will never run out of juice. Now, communication. Cell towers get jammed or lose power. The internet goes down. How do you get news and official alerts? The answer is an old-school classic: a battery-powered or hand-cranked emergency radio. Specifically, you want a NOAA weather radio. These are designed to receive emergency alerts directly from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, covering everything from tornadoes to civil emergencies. Many models even include a flashlight and a USB port to charge your phone, all powered by a hand crank. It's a brilliant multitasker. A blackout is a universal threat. Your homework is to get a quality LED headlamp and a hand-crank NOAA radio. These 2 things alone put you way ahead of the curve. We're halfway through. Number 5 is a multi-tool or a basic toolkit. In a crisis, you're suddenly your own handyman. Things break and you've got to be able to fix them. The problem is, most people don't even have a basic screwdriver handy. The solution is to start with a quality multi-tool. A good Leatherman or Gerber is a toolbox in your pocket. It should have pliers, a knife, a can opener, your backup for the backup, and screwdrivers. This single item can handle hundreds of small tasks. This is another one that's universal, but it scales up. For the urban prepper, a compact multi-tool is a great start. It's discreet and perfect for small repairs around an apartment. You might also add a small pry bar, a surprisingly useful tool for stuck doors or windows. For the rural or suburban prepper, you'll want to expand on this. On top of the multi-tool, have a dedicated toolkit with a hammer, a full screwdriver set, wrenches, a saw, and good work gloves.
If you've got a wood-burning stove, an axe is a must-have. Think about what systems your home relies on and what you'd need to fix them. And don't just buy the tool and toss it in a drawer. Use it. Get comfortable with it. Know what it can and can't do. All right, let's take a breath. We're halfway through. We've covered water, food, first aid, light and communication, and tools. As you can see, this is all about practical, common-sense items. Nothing scary here. If you're getting some value out of this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Now, let's jump into the back half of the list. Number 6 is sanitation and hygiene. This is the one almost everybody forgets, but it is so important. When sanitation breaks down, disease spreads fast, and that can turn a crisis into a catastrophe. Let's be blunt. If the water stops, your toilet stops flushing. Garbage pickup
is probably not happening. Your home can become a health hazard real quick. The solution is to have a plan for both personal hygiene and waste. First, personal hygiene. Stock up on hand sanitizer, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and feminine hygiene products. Baby wipes are worth their weight in gold when you can't shower. They are a massive morale booster. Next, waste. You'll want heavy-duty garbage bags, lots of them. You also need a plan for an emergency toilet. The simplest answer is a 5-gallon bucket with a snap-on toilet seat. Line it with a trash bag, and after each use, toss in a scoop of kitty litter, sawdust, or peat moss to control the smell. It's not glamorous, but it is a safe, proven way to handle human waste. This is a universal need. Germs don't care if you live in a skyscraper or a farmhouse. In a city, disease can actually spread faster because of the population density. A rural prepper might have more options for digging a latrine, but you still need an indoor option for when it's not safe to go outside. Go to a dollar store and build a dedicated hygiene kit. It's a tiny investment that pays off big time for your health and well-being. Number 7 is shelter and warmth. Remember the rule of threes? You can die from exposure in just 3 hours in bad weather. We have to be able to control our core body temperature. The problem is our homes are totally dependent on the power grid for heat. When the grid goes down in winter, your house can get dangerously cold, fast. The solution is to have backup, off-grid ways to stay warm. The simplest, most essential items are emergency Mylar space blankets and good sleeping bags or wool blankets. A Mylar blanket costs a couple of bucks, weighs nothing, and reflects about 90% of your body heat back to you. Have several. A quality cold weather sleeping bag is even better. If you're lucky enough to have a fireplace or a wood stove, that's awesome. Just make sure you have plenty of firewood. For everyone else, there are indoor safe propane heaters, like the Mr. Heater Buddy. But, and this is critical, if you get one, you must also have a battery-powered carbon monoxide detector. That is non-negotiable. In an urban apartment, you probably don't have a fireplace. Here, your best friends are layers: thermal underwear, wool blankets, and good sleeping bags. You can also pick one small interior room to be your warm room. Close it off, hang blankets over the windows and door, and have everyone camp out in there. Your combined body heat will make a huge difference. Rural preppers often have a leg up with wood stoves, but you should still have those backup blankets and sleeping bags, just in case. Your action step is to buy a pack of Mylar blankets and make sure everyone in the family has a warm blanket or sleeping bag. Number 8 is the cheapest, easiest, and maybe one of the most life-saving items on the list: a whistle. Here's the scenario. You're trapped, under debris after an earthquake, stuck in an elevator, or lost on a hike. Your voice will give out long before rescuers find you. Shouting is exhausting and doesn't carry well. The solution is a loud, simple whistle. The sound of a whistle is sharp and unnatural. It's designed to cut through noise and travel a long way with almost no effort. 3 blasts is the universal signal for distress. There's no urban versus rural divide on this one. It's a universal tool for Find Me. Attach one to your keychain. Put one in your emergency kit. Give one to each of your kids and teach them it's not a toy. It's a tool they only use if they're lost or in trouble. It's $1 that could save your life. Number 9 is your critical paperwork and cash. After a disaster, the world keeps turning. You'll still need to prove who you are, and you'll still need a way to buy things. The problem is that our entire financial life is digital. If the power's out,
ATMs, credit card readers, and the internet are all down. You're cut off. And if you have to evacuate your home, you won't have time to hunt for birth certificates. The solution is a documents go bag and an emergency cash stash. First, make copies of your critical documents: birth certificates, passports, social security cards, driver's licenses, house deeds, and insurance policies. You can have paper copies, but it's even smarter to have them saved on a password-protected USB flash drive. Keep it all in a waterproof and fireproof bag. Next, cash. Have a stash of cash at home, specifically in small bills. In a grid-down world, cash will be king, but nobody's going to be able to make change for a $100 bill. Having 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s means you can actually buy gas or food. A few $100s is a great starting point. This prep is universal, whether you're in the city needing to pay for a ride out or in the country needing to buy a generator part, you'll need cash and ID. And finally, number 10. This is the one item you can't buy: skills and a plan. Honestly, this might be the most important one on the whole list. The biggest beginner mistake is what I call prepping on paper. Buying all the gear but having zero idea how to use it and no plan for what to do when an emergency actually hits. A pile of gear doesn't make you prepared. It just creates a false sense of security. The solution is to shift your mindset from stuff to knowledge. For every item on this list, learn the matching skill. Got a water filter? Go practice filtering murky water from a local pond. Got a first aid kit? Take a class and practice putting on a tourniquet. Got a fire starter? Go practice making a fire in your backyard. Skills are better than stuff. They can't be stolen, they don't break, and they weigh nothing. The other half of this is your plan. What do you do? Your plan doesn't need to be a 100-page novel. Just answer 3 basic questions. Where do we meet? Have a rally point just outside your home and another one outside your neighborhood in case you get separated. How do we talk? Have a plan for how to get in touch if phones are down. A classic method is having an out-of-state contact that everyone in the family can call or text. Long-distance calls often go through when local lines are jammed. Do we stay or do we go? For 99% of situations, the best bet is to bug in and shelter at home. But you need to know what would make you leave and where you would go. Have your kids packed and ready. This is a mindset that applies to everyone. An urban family needs to practice their evacuation route on foot. A rural family needs to practice their plan for being cut off for a while. A simple plan turns panic into action. So that's the list. The first 10 foundational items and ideas for any beginner prepper: water, food, first aid, light and communication, tools, sanitation, shelter, a whistle, documents and cash, and finally, skills and a plan. By focusing on these 10 things, you'll be more prepared than 90% of the people out there. This isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. It's the peace of mind you get from knowing you've got the basics covered no matter what. You've already taken the most important step just by deciding to take action. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and stay prepared.